Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I really struggle filming in the car because it's so hot and I did myself dirty. I wore a sweatshirt today, so that is my fault. But it gets so hot because like I come to the top of a parking garage for some sunlight, for some good lighting, you know? And then I can't keep my AC up high because it's too loud when I do. So I'm gonna try to make this quick, but still give you guys good answers. Gotta put my sunglasses on because I am facing the sun. Anyway, look at my new sweatshirt, guys. Is this not the cutest thing ever? It says Self-Care Club. This is probably my new favorite sweatshirt. You will probably be seeing it often. I just went to Whole Foods to get a turmeric latte because I thoroughly enjoyed the turmeric latte that I got there last time. It tasted like fall. It was just so freaking good. And so I was like, I'm gonna go get one of those today and go film a video. It was a different girl making it, and it's not something that's like on their menu. But when I went there a few weeks ago and they were out of matcha, I was like, okay, do you have anything that's like not caffeinated? Like any not caffeinated lattes? And the girl was like, yeah, we have a turmeric latte. And I was like, perfect, bingo, give it to me. And it was so good. But there was a different girl there today, and I asked for a turmeric latte. And she was like, a what? And I was like, a turmeric latte. And she was like, oh yeah, of course. This is like a real latte with turmeric in it. So like, it's definitely coffee. And she definitely just put turmeric in a normal latte. I will not be consuming this, unfortunately. It was a waste of my money, and I'm not gonna go back. I'm terrified of doing that, social anxiety. I'm just like, okay, I guess I just wasted my money. So yay, love that for me. On to the video. This video is going to be a part 2 to my little girl chat video. I don't have very many questions left, so there's someone staring at me, but it's fine, I guess. First one I'm gonna touch on is how to actually love my belly with all the unrealistic bellies around the internet. This struggle is 1000% valid. It's so real, and I'm sending you so much love. There's so many unrealistic bodies out there on the internet. I'm gonna give you a couple tips. First off, you all knew I was gonna say it, gratitude. Body gratitude has the power to literally transform the way you feel about your body. So anytime these negative thoughts pop into your mind of like, oh, I wish my belly looked like hers, like I wish this looked like her, whatever, you respond to it in a very loving and compassionate way and be like, okay, I might feel that way right now, but I'm so grateful that my belly protects my vital organs. It has the potential to carry a child. Like, how freaking incredible. Our bellies do so much and they protect so much. And so just focusing on all that your body does for you and the gratitude for all that your stomach does for you, that is something that can completely like rewire the way you think about your stomach or your body, any part of your body. Really just focusing on gratitude and coming back to that. I know when you do it, like the first couple of times, it's really not going to feel much different, but that is something that with time and consistency, you can literally rewire your brain. So hang in there with the body gratitude. Keep doing that. Be consistent with it, be loving and compassionate towards yourself, and I promise that one can literally change your life. So first, body gratitude. Second, when it comes to comparison and bodies, my therapist actually told me this a while back when I was gaining weight in my recovery journey and struggling with comparison and all of that stuff that we all struggle with in this social media day and age. But she told me this and it has stuck with me ever since. And she said, anytime you find yourself comparing to someone else, whether that's on social media or in real life, take a step back and try to zoom out for a little bit and take the focus off of the body and be like, you know, I really hope that girl is feeling fulfilled and happy and at peace in her life. Because the truth of the matter is that you don't know what this person that you are comparing yourself to is going through internally. What good is it to have shredded abs if you are unhealthy, sad, lonely, isolated, having panic attacks? Like, I know for myself, when I was modeling and I was doing all these things, I was the most unhappy, unfulfilled, sad, lonely, anxious, having debilitating panic attacks multiple times a day, least confident in myself than I have ever been. So the truth of the matter is, like, you don't know what that person is going through, and so social media is such an unrealistic thing, and you really can't compare yourself to anyone on social media or in real life when you're just seeing someone's bodies. Like, there's no reason to compare our external, because that is not what matters, and that is not what leads to happiness and fulfillment and joy. So just zooming out and just being like, catching yourself in the moment and being like, you know, I hope she's genuinely doing well and feeling at peace in her life. I feel like that just kind of helps you zoom out for a little bit and shift the perspective on what really matters, which is what's going on internally. Because you can have all these external things, you can have all the money in the world, the perfect body, whatever, but if you're unhappy, unfulfilled, lonely, isolated, anxious, depressed, what does it matter, you know? So just shifting the perspective, zooming out, focusing on gratitude, focusing on the internal, that is going to lead to peace and healing. I know the struggle with comparison is so real, but just remember that that comparison adds nothing of value into your life, and it does the opposite. It distracts you from stepping into who you were created to be. I feel like comparison is the biggest distraction in our life, and the thing that keeps the most people from stepping into their purpose and believing in themselves and having confidence in themselves is because they're comparing themselves to other people, and that just brings no value into your life. And I want all of you guys to know that you have something so unique to bring to this world, and that purpose goes way beyond your body, and the way your body looks has nothing to do with the value that you add to this world. So shifting the perspective off of the external, focusing on the internal, because the external is fleeting, it's gonna be gone, it's gonna turn to dust one day. But what matters most is the peace you feel and the love you spread and the light you spread and the value you bring into this world. And you can't do any of that when you're stuck in this comparison trap. You're restricting yourself, you're not nourishing your body properly, you cannot live your fullest, most purposeful life. So all of that to say, turn to gratitude, zoom out a bit, change the perspective, be gentle with yourself, understand that it's really such a common thing to struggle with this, so give yourself grace in that area, but also respond to yourself with gratitude and with mindset shifts that are going to help you heal. It's not about being perfect, it's not about shaming yourself for having these thoughts, it's about approaching yourself with grace and shifting the mindset. So hot. I need some AC first. Someone said, how to overcome the fear of rejection and tell my crush that I'm into him. I think this one also just comes back to your foundation. If you have a strong foundation of who you are, who you're created to be, you have less fear around people rejecting you. 2 years ago, I was terrified of rejection. I was just so, I wouldn't have approached anyone. I would never have shared my feelings because I was so scared of rejection, and that stemmed from a lack of acceptance and a lack of a identity within myself. But now, 2 years later that I've done so much work, been going to therapy, doing so much mental work, I've grown so much, and I've grown so much in my faith and found like my true source of identity and such a strong foundation on that. I'm not as scared of rejection. Like, of course there's still that little fear there, like it doesn't feel good, and it doesn't feel good to anyone if you are, because we are humans, and being rejected just doesn't feel good to anyone. You should know that, like, hey, even if I got rejected, that wouldn't change the way I view myself. It might hurt a little bit, and that's okay. That's a human thing to go through, but you should be so strong in your foundation in yourself that you're not gonna be crushed if someone rejects you. I love the saying that rejection is redirection, because looking back on my life, all these times that I was like, why am I getting rejected? Those were literal redirections. And so that goes in every area of your life, whether that's a career, a school, or a person. Like, that rejection is redirecting you. If that person rejects you, that's on them, and they're not supposed to be in your life. And so you can view it as an opportunity to grow, and you can be thankful that it didn't work out because that person wasn't supposed to be in your life at that moment. And there is a chance that that rejection from them, you know, maybe now is not the right time, and later that time will come. But the point of it is that you're so trusting in the process that you know that that rejection is ultimately for your good. And so that's a perspective that really can just help you step out there in confidence. After doing so much work and healing and shifting my mindset and finding such a strong foundation within myself and my identity in Christ, I can view rejection as redirection, and like I said, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but it just means that I can be thankful for it and see the good in it and know that it's ultimately serving a purpose, even if I can't see that now. So if you're fearing like telling your crush you're into him, I would say just go for it. Have a support system, so have people that you can turn to. If the feelings aren't mutual, you can turn to those people. Also just know that if the rejection were to happen, don't view it as rejection, view it as this person wasn't supposed to be in my life right now, and that's okay. I can find people who are meant to be in my life right now. Someday you will find your person who you want to spend the rest of your life with and who it works so effortlessly with that you'll be so thankful for this rejection. So just try to like zoom out and just really understand the big picture of things. Like, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Nothing is an accident. Everything is happening for a reason. And so just trust that, and trust that the right people that are meant to be in your life will be in your life. You know, if this person were to reject you, that's nothing about you and that's everything about them, and they're just not supposed to be in your life right now. It doesn't mean that you're not pretty enough, you know, whatever. It just means that now they're not meant to be in your life. I hope that made some sort of sense. Okay, this next one says, I want your opinion on homeschooling. I haven't really enjoyed school since I was really little. I feel really uncomfortable sometimes and pretty bad. Recently I have made some friends, but I also think that homeschool can be an option if I wanted, but I'm just really close to graduation, and in my country it's a pretty unusual thing to do, so there aren't many options or information. Thank you. First, I want you to know you're not alone. I was right there with you. I never enjoyed school. I actually hated school. I went to school just to get it over with. I just did not love school at all whatsoever. And I could not wait for the day to be out of school. And I'm still, now that I'm out of school, 24, I'm like, thank God I'm not going back to school. Like, every time it rolls around, like, we're in August now, and I think people start school next week here. And so I'm like, thank God I'm not in school anymore. So I totally feel you and I totally get it, and I want you to know that it is temporary, so just try to make the best of it. I'm not the best example of this because I really just hid my whole way through school and I didn't make the best of it, but I would encourage you to just make the best of it and do what you need to do to get through and to find peace and to find joy. But homeschool, I think homeschool is beautiful. If it's an option for you, if it's available for you, I think it can be really incredible. I actually did my last years of high school online, so I could like focus more on ballet and do more ballet. And it was just too much to be going to school from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then dance from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Like, that was just too much. So I did my last 2 years of school online, and your girl loved it. I thrived in online school. I loved just waking up, getting it done the first few hours of the day, and then having the rest of the day. I've always been kind of just like independent in that sense. Like, I never enjoyed the social aspects of school. I just did school because I had to get it over with, and so online school was perfect for that because I just got it done and got to move on with my life. So I think it can be a beautiful thing for certain people. Of course, it's different for everyone. Some people absolutely hate it and, you know, they don't get their work done and all of that, but I thrived in online school. And so if homeschool or online school is an option for you and you feel like it might be a good fit for you, then I would definitely suggest just giving it a try. And the beautiful thing about it is it doesn't have to be like forever. You can just give it a try and then go back to normal school if you want. So that's the beautiful thing about it. So I would just encourage you to give it a try if you can, if it's available to you. Just release like the societal pressure if you're feeling that of like, oh, it's not real school, like you're not cool if you're homeschooled. Just release all of that and just do what's best for you. Just focus on you. I know there can be comparison around that, but I literally thrived my last 2 years of high school and I wouldn't have it any other way. So you do you, my friend, and just be confident in the decision that you're making and allow yourself to try it out and find what works best for you. There's no right or wrong way to live your life. It's gonna look different for everyone, so just try it out and do what feels best for you. I think homeschool, online school can be a really beautiful thing. Okay, someone said, going to the OBGYN for the first time and I'm terrified for the pap smear. Have you gone and do you have any tips? Okay, I was literally terrified for the pap smear situation. In the US, it's recommended that you start getting them when you're 21. So that's when I started getting them. I was terrified. I remember like shaking in the office. I was literally terrified. It's uncomfortable. I mean, you're literally shoving that private, vulnerable area in someone's face while they stick stuff in you. And it's uncomfortable. I'll kind of share my experience the first time that I went and hope that it can bring you some peace. I know people say this. It's really not as bad as I was expecting. It's not painful. It can be a little uncomfortable if you're tense down there, and if you're anxious about it, it can be a little uncomfortable. I think I've gotten like 3 pap smears done at this point, and the last time was literal breeze, and I feel like any time after this it's just gonna be a breeze. The first time I was incredibly nervous. It was terrifying. The second time I felt better, but I was still a little nervous. The third time there was just no fear, no anxiety around it. It was just, okay, like I know the drill. I know it's not gonna hurt me. I know it doesn't hurt. It is what it is. So just know that like there is gonna be some anxiety and fear, but it's because you literally have no idea what's about to happen, how your body's gonna feel. But my experience the first time I went, you get in this gown, right? You take off all your clothes, you get in a gown, and then you wait for them to come in. Doctor comes in. My doctor first like examined my boobs, which that was probably like the least nerve-wracking part for me, because this is weird, but growing up as a ballet dancer, changing in front of a ton of people, and then a model literally changing in front of a ton of people, a lot of people have seen my boobs. A doctor seeing my boobs didn't really bother me because random photographers and people have seen my boobs, which is unfortunate. But anyway, that's reality. So wasn't nervous about that part, but she literally just like felt around on them. And then she was talking to me this whole time, which again, I'm very grateful that I had a nice doctor, a good doctor who was creating conversation in the midst of this to kind of like keep me focused on the conversation. Then I like put my legs in the little stirrup things. You have to literally like scoot your butt up in her face, and she sticks the little thing in there, opens it up, sticks a little swab in there. It happened so fast. I know you hear that a lot, but it really happened so fast. So that part's really fast. And then this is the part that I was not aware of when I went into it. I hadn't heard anyone talk of this. I just didn't know this was gonna happen. I thought it was literally just like the little pap smear thing and you're done. But after that, she like sticks fingers in there and like feels around on your cervix, ovaries. I don't really know what she's feeling around on, but all I know is she stuck her fingers up there and was like pressing on my stomach at the same time and like feeling around in there. So that does happen, but again, weird. Like if you think about it, it's weird, but it doesn't hurt. It can be a little uncomfortable if you are tense and anxious, but it doesn't hurt. So it's nothing to be scared of. And this is coming from a virgin, you know, coming from a virgin. It's not that bad. Definitely like please go to your yearly appointment because it's so important. Like there are so many reasons why you should go to this yearly appointment with your OBGYN. So I know it's scary, like I was terrified, but it's so important for your health to go. It really is. So don't put it off. Don't not do it because you're scared. Like it's just one of those things that has to be done. It's not the most fun thing in the world, but it's not painful, terrible, awful, you know. I hope that helped. Just know you're not alone with being scared. I know so many girls are scared. I have friends who are my age and haven't been yet because they're still scared, and I'm like, okay girl, like I promise it's not that big of a deal. I just want you to go make sure you're healthy. You've got this. I promise it gets so much better with time as well. And after the first time you do it, it only gets easier from there. It's still obviously not something that I'm excited about, but it gets easier. I'm not scared of it anymore. So then on to the next question, which this is the last one I think I'm going to answer because the other ones, beautiful questions, and I want to get back to all of your questions, but the other ones aren't really like, they're more like eating disorder topic, which again, I will do another Q&A and touch on some of those. Maybe I'll do like an eating disorder specific Q&A or like body image Q&A anyway. But this is like a girl chat video, so I'm not focusing heavily on the eating disorder topic. But I love you guys, and you know, go check out my Instagram, go check out my other videos. I have so much information about recovery and healing your mindset around food and body and all of that. So just go check out my content if you ask me an eating disorder related question, and know that I will be doing another Q&A soon and touching on those. Last question is, do you use tampons or cups, and what's like your experience with them? So I have kind of a weird experience with this, guys. When I got my period back after losing it from my eating disorder for so many years, when I got it back, I was like so excited to use a cup, because I had, you know, they had become more popular during the time that I had lost it, and I was like, when I get my period back, I'm using a cup. And I was so excited for that. And so I like bought one, and I was just like waiting for my period to come back to use it. And when my period came back, I think it took me like a couple cycles to like get up the nerve to use it. It freaked me out, honestly. The cup is a lot bigger than a tampon, and so I was like really scared, and you have to literally like stick your fingers up there. I found this one that had like this little, I think it's called Flex cup, but it had this little like thing that you could pull, because I didn't love that you didn't have a string to pull it out, that you had to literally reach up there with your fingers and pull it out, and like break the suction and pull it out. I didn't love that, so I found this one that like when you pulled the little bottom of it, the suction broke and you could just pull it out from this thing. Guys, it took me probably like 3 to 5, I don't remember exactly, like 3 to 5 cycles to actually get this thing in right and figure it out, which it probably will take less if you like keep trying. But I would try like one day and it would just not work out, and I was like, okay, I don't really want to deal with this anymore, and so I wouldn't deal with it until the next cycle. So it took me a while to figure out the cup, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't love it. And maybe I know people say you have to find the right one for your body, and I think I just have not found the right one for my body, and I just haven't really been experimenting with it, because I just like felt it. Oh, first time I used one and put it up there, I did not put it up high enough, and I could not pee because it was like pressing on my pee hole or something. I could not pee. Like I had to pee so bad and it could not come out, and that freaked me out so bad. So if you're using one, make sure you put it up there high enough, because otherwise you won't be able to pee. It was a struggle for me to figure it out, but I finally did, and I wore it for a day. I wore it for quite a few hours, and I just could, it's like, it was so bulky. And I'm someone who's like very in tune with my body, a little too like hyper aware of feelings in my body, and it felt like I could just feel it in my stomach. So not like I could feel it where it like wasn't up high enough, but it just felt like I could just feel it in my stomach, and I did not love that. And so I haven't really been trying it recently, but I definitely want to find one that works eventually. And also I kind of went through this phase where I'm really trying to like understand my cycle, and this might sound kind of gross or whatever, but we're all girls here, and if you're not a girl, this is what girls have to deal with. But anyway, I'm really trying to like get in tune with my cycle, understand the changes, and part of that is like being aware of how much blood is coming out, what the color is, you know, are there clots, and like all of this. And with a tampon or a cup, you can't really see that. Can't see as much of the changes or like feel as much of the changes. And this might sound really weird, and this might just be a me thing, but I really have been trying to understand my cycle and what's going on in my body, especially with my hormonal imbalances and going on my hormonal acne journey. I really just want to know, because your period can tell you a lot. It is your 5th vital sign. It can tell you a lot about what's going on in your body. So I've honestly been using pads. It's raining, wow. And I think there's a lot of like, I don't know, I feel like people look down upon you if you use pads. I feel like there's just this weird judgment around people that use pads, because like they're gross or whatever. I just feel like people think you're not as cool if you're using pads. But for me, it's like I want to become aware of my cycle. I want to know how much is coming out. Like I want to really just get in tune with my body. But anyway, all that being said, when I go to yoga or swim, obviously I just use tampons. I will link the brand below that I use. I think it's called like Viv for your V or something. I tried the reusable underwear, kind of grosses me out, I'm not gonna lie. Don't love it. I grew up, like the day I started my period when I was 14 years old, the first day I had to use tampons, because I was a dancer and I had literally had like a performance that night. So I had to use tampons from, you know, when I first got my period when I was 14 to when I lost it to my eating disorder. I had to use tampons because I was dancing, and as a ballet dancer, you're in pink tights and a black leotard every day, and you have to use a tampon. Like, you literally cannot use a pad. So I grew up just using tampons, and then lost my period for 5 years, and then that's when I started like experimenting with the cup. Didn't love it, and also really wanted to understand what changes were happening in my body and just be aware of that. And so I'm still kind of there, and I feel like until I work through these hormonal imbalances, I'm still going to be doing this, and then hopefully I can find a cup that works for me. But anyway, no TMI here, so I hope that helped you. I don't know why, and I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like there is like judgment upon people who wear pads, and I'm like, it's literally not that big of a deal. Just do what you feel most comfortable with. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part 2 to the girl chat video. I loved these little videos. I just have such a heart for speaking to younger girls, and it's been such a passion that's been like lit inside of me to just be who I needed when I was struggling, and it's such a gift to be able to be that for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, our little chat in the rain. I'm so excited it's raining. Wow, it hasn't rained in forever here. It's been so hot. I am so excited for fall. Just ready to not be like dripping in sweat and feeling like I'm suffocating and dying the second I step outside. And I'm ready to not be like drowning in sweat in my morning walk when I'm literally, like, I literally went on a walk at 7 a.m. yesterday and I was still pouring sweat. So I'm ready for that to be over with, and I'm just ready for the cozy vibes, and I cannot believe August is upon us. That is wild to me. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some comfort, value from it. As always, leave any video requests below. I would love to hear them from you guys. I'm so in love with this community on YouTube. It just feels so personal and so special to me. So I can't wait to continue pouring into you guys and creating videos for you. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Have a beautiful day. Be kind to yourself.